Onward is the latest film from Pixar, and it stars the voice talents of Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Octavia Spencer. So Onward tells the story of two elf brothers named Ian and Barley, played by Tom Holland and Chris Pratt. Their father passed away when they were really young, and so it's Ian's 16th birthday, and for a present, he gets a wizard staff, which grants a spell for their dad to come back for one day, and the thing goes wrong when it only brings back half of his body back up to his, waist and legs. And so the two brothers have only 24 hours to fix the spell and can hopefully bring their father back. Before going into Onward, I will admit that I kinda had conflicted feelings about it. I was somewhat excited for it and somewhat skeptical about it because the trailers weren't that great, to be honest, but I wanted to go see it because it's Pixar and they made some of the best animated films of all time. And it's their first original movie in almost 3 years. And now that I've finally seen the movie, I'm happy to say that Onward is good. It's a good movie. Is it great? No. First of all, as expected with Pixar, the animation is beautiful. Pixar's animation has gotten to a point where it's basically photorealistic at this point. The animation is spectacular and it's some of the best I've ever seen from Pixar, without a doubt. And the cast was great too. Like I said, it's Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Octavia Spencer. Personally, my favorite character in the whole movie was probably Ian, voiced by Tom Holland. Ian was my favorite character because he was the one character in the movie who you could easily relate to on some levels. At the very beginning of the movie, you see him trying to gain confidence in himself. And at some point in our lives, we've all gone through that, and it definitely did resonate with me on some levels. And the chemistry between Ian and Barley was great too. Holland and Pratt did a great job selling themselves in their roles, and you really bought them as brothers. But yeah, I do have some issues with the movie, and I'll get to that soon. The story, while I did like it, it just wasn't anything new or groundbreaking or anything. It just felt like something that we've already seen before, and it just kind of felt like a been there, done that for me. And the whole fantasy world that the movie took place in, I couldn't find myself engaged with it because the movie barely took interest in exploring it more. It did have some creative ideas and jokes here and there, but overall, I just couldn't find myself engaged with the world. There were some parts that were funny, and I did find myself genuinely laughing at some parts. And my favorite scenes by far in the whole movie were the really serious and really emotional scenes. Because when you walk into a Pixar movie, you always expect some serious and emotional scenes. There was one scene in the movie that I did find myself actually loving. And I won't go into depth about it because spoilers, but this scene revolved around Barley, Chris Pratt's character, and he has a monologue where he talks about a memory of his father before he passed away, and it was a memory that he doesn't usually talk about, and the movie handled the scene so brilliantly, and Pratt's delivery of the monologue was so beautiful, and it was by far my favorite scene in probably the entire movie. And if you've seen the movie, you probably know what scene I'm talking about. The best way to sum up Onward is, it's like a mix between Shrek and Zootopia. But Onward is not as memorable, nor as funny as Shrek, nor is it as brilliant and thought-provoking as Zootopia. If I were to rank Onward in terms of Pixar's filmography, I don't think it's nearly as good as most of their movies. I don't think it's nearly as good as the Toy Story series, The Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Up, WALL-E, Ratatouille, Coco, Inside Out, Bugs Life. And I love those movies. I could watch those movies all day and never get tired of them. Onward just doesn't have that rewatchability factor that makes those movies so entertaining. And I do think it's better than the Cars sequels and Brave. Now, Brave is a movie that definitely has divided people. I know people who either like it or hate it. I'm in the minority. I'm one of the few people who actually hate it. I think Brave is Pixar's worst movie by far. So overall, Onward is cute, it's funny, it's entertaining. I was never bored throughout the movie, And the heart and soul of the movie was definitely the chemistry between the two brothers. And the ending was great. I actually really liked the ending too. I give Onward a B. Onward is actually not the only Pixar movie that's coming out this year. They have another movie coming out in June called Soul, and personally, I think that movie is going to be better than Onward. So if you have seen Onward, what are your thoughts on it? Whatever they are, just leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see more of my videos, just be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more great content.